everybody, and welcome back to the Men's Couch, a show about men's mental health. I'm Alex,
I'm Danny.
I am Meech.
And I'm Micah.
and welcome back. This is the 5th episode of Men's Couch. It's been doing pretty good so far. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. And yeah, Micah, start us off.
Okay, who's pissed off?
Well, that escalated quickly.
Who is pissed off today?
Honestly, I was a little
Okay.
bit. But who else?
I was this morning because I couldn't find my computer to go to class.
I was upset earlier because I napped for a lot longer than I wanted to, so that made me pretty upset. It was more of like, I guess I was more mad than, yeah. What about you?
I think I was a little bit just upset that I didn't know what to, cause I work, I have a work study job, and at the job there's a computer set up in a lounge area, and I didn't know how to help the student connect the computer with the TV screen, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I think I was getting angry with myself because I didn't know how to do it. I thought I should know how to do it, but I'm not good with technology by any means. I think luckily we had some people down there to help, but I think I was angry with myself because of false expectations and feeling like I couldn't control the situation. So I was so upset with myself, and so angry and disappointed and frustrated.
I just wanted to say, you're the first person to say a swear word on this podcast.
I don't consider that a swear word, but
Well, it's debatable, really. It just really depends on who you talk to.
okay.
But some people say don't, some people don't.
But that's not the point of that. The point is,
I mean, if you say it to the wrong person,
This
they
is a
find
swear
offensive.
show.
the point is, I get
This is-
angry because because of the lack of control that I have in my life, and I think I'm starting to realize that because a lot of in college, just so much you can try to control, you can try to manage your lifestyle, but there's so much that you can't control, and I think just working within those how life works, can be frustrating if you in trying to accept it because life never works out the way that you want it to. So
That's very fair, yeah.
I think that's what
True.
triggers my anger. But I'm curious to know how does everyone what makes them angry? What
So, I had just a similar thing today.
oh
I had a class assignment, which I kind of forgot about until today. I mean, it was due this Sunday, but so I had time. But it was a little frustrating because I didn't really understand the assignment, and my computer has been kind of getting on my nerves recently. We've been kind of having a little feud.
Is it the reflection thing, or is it
No,
is it a quiz?
it's the
Financial thing? Yeah, I hated that.
It was a little weird.
I hated that. But go ahead.
But I think it was because the directions were really clear, but also just the fact that technology was being a douche to me, which is why I was going mad. But I got it done. That's all good. But also the fact that it kind of wasted my time made me angry. But yeah, it happens.
Does
For real.
What made you pissed off today?
swearing.
Well, actually, it was last night, but I was doing math lab on my computer, and literally, when you try to get an answer correct, when you feel like it's the correct answer, it marks it wrong because you forgot to put the parentheses or something,
Oh jeez.
That's a good point.
or you're missing a bracket or
That's
something.
true. That's true.
The littlest thing on the math lab can piss me off really bad, especially when when you get try to get the correct answer and really you don't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. For me, it's usually just when I play. A lot of times, me playing video games. It's it's funny. I feel like the games that make me the most upset, I like to play more, just because it's I'm playing this one game. Well, main game I've been playing, single player game, called Lies of P. Really fun. If anyone's listening, you should play it. It's really good. But it's really hard. It's the point of the game is you die you learn the boss's moves, and you fight him again. It's like, oh, you've learned more, so you keep fighting him. But on this one boss, it's very hard to beat, and it's like you get so close, and you just like die. You have to go all the way back, and it's like definitely gets me upset. And honestly, how I deal with it is I kind of just like play something else, or I just like leave my room. I just like do something else. Like that's usually how I deal with that. I usually just like I don't know. Actually, I guess we're waiting to talk about that, so I'll wait more to talk about that. But yeah, earlier I was upset because I napped for a very long time because it's just like I guess anger can be in connection with regret in the sense that I was mad at myself for doing it. I was like, okay, I don't understand why. This is like, because like there was times like I woke up like once or twice and I was like, okay, I should probably get up and like actually do stuff. But I just like kind of sat there. I was being kind of lazy, but everything happens for a reason. I got some stuff done. It's like the assignments aren't due for a while, so I'm not stressed about it yet. It's just like annoying that I feel like I'm burning out right before the break. So yeah.
It sounds like you're like upset because you didn't like I guess wake up or you're sleepy or whatever. You're tired.
It's annoying because sometimes like I'm kind of a hypocrite because I think napping is like the worst thing ever because like in my opinion, it's very unproductive. I mean I know like if you're tired, it's like oh you sleep, but I feel like sleeping is only for like the night. You sleep at night. You don't sleep during the day. But I took a nap, so I can't really be saying much. But I try not to nap that much because yeah, you could definitely like there's so many other things you could be doing. In my opinion.
Maybe napping is productive because it's productive in helping your body rest and heal.
Yeah, a lot of people like when I say that claim, that's what everyone's like, no, that's just not correct. I'm like, oh, well, I disagree.
Okay, we can disagree, but I think
well, like it can go either way. Like I think it really depends on the person. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. Like I know when I was in high school, like I nap all the time. But when I like got to college, like I'd try not napping as much. I still do like every now and then, but not as much as I used to because I'm like more busy throughout the day.
I barely nap just because it's a bad habit. I think.
So I think like we just like we get angry because we're not living up to I guess our expectations of what we think we should be doing, and then what we actually do turns out to be like the opposite of what we think we should be doing. So we get angry at ourselves for actually I guess in your case napping, or in my case like feeling like I don't have control over things. I think that's like that makes me like so angry and like frustrated with myself. But I also get like, and I think I'm getting better at this with like not getting so like frustrated with myself if I slip back into like old patterns, and I think I'm just trying to like to not get so like irritate with myself about that.
That's a good point.
And like have like more patience with myself, or like grace for myself.
That's so relatable.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of you. If I go back into old patterns, I get really upset at myself. So I guess we're indifferent in that way.
You naughty little person.
Well, I'm
naughty person.
Yeah, that's why I want to talk. This is off topic in our men's group, so I want to talk about temptation because that really like to me that connects.
You can get angry at yourself for being tempted.
Yeah, but that also connects to being like or following old patterns. I feel like it's similar to, at least to me, it's similar to temptation. So that's why I want to talk about it because that's a good topic.
I feel like if I go back into like my sorry.
No, there you go.
Okay. I feel like if I go back into my old habits, like what we talked about the last time, I'd feel like regret inside me. Like I'd feel like, oh, why did I do this? What was the cause of like this? And I'm pretty much like saying to myself, like, how can I change that back into my new self again? Like, how can I change that?
I think for me, underneath the anger is anxiety. Because like I struggle a lot with that, and I think like underneath the anger is anxiety because I get like so anxious about not being able to like I felt like just like today feeling like helpless in a situation, like I couldn't help the person. So then I go into like an anxiety spiral about it, and then like but like out on the outside it looks like I'm angry. But on the inside, I'm actually like worried that like this person is gonna think like he doesn't know what he's doing, or it's really that internal dialogue that you have of yourself, and um I think anger is just so much more than just being angry. And I used like my anger. I would say like me like dealing with it is has gotten better, and because before it was like very explosive,
Oh yeah.
which is like
Yeah.
Kind of.
when I
I was
say that
really bad at it.
it might be like surprising to like when I tell that to people because they're like, "What? You seem so chill," but like, no, it was like really bad because I had like so much like. First of all, I had so much pent up anger because of things that I went through and I haven't dealt with. Um, like this can include like just like even like past like bullying trauma and just past like rejections that I had to deal with like in school that I'm not gonna go into right now. It's like, um, but I think like over the years like that pent up anger, you can become angry like with yourself and like the world around you that you just like are like you you kind of like shut yourself out from the world out of that anger, and like the anger becomes bitterness. So that's my story with anger. I know like everyone's story is different, but I think like we can relate to like having anger can sometimes turn into that bitterness, or like you carry that anger, that energy with you. um yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like for me, my anger is kind of like my father's. To where it like takes time to really build up, and
Mhm.
then eventually
That one thing,
it gets there. It goes. Boom.
that one situation.
I rarely see
Yeah.
you angry, Alex.
You
So
really
you-
see me angry? You don't.
Rarely.
Oh, you real? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, uh, yeah. Like I'm not usually angry, and also, but when I am angry, I like hide it, and then when I don't, it like kind of blows up. But like, what? How does that go for you guys? Is it the same sort of thing?
I feel like from my experience of anger, like what you said, Alex, like it takes time to build up for me. Like
Mm.
it takes a lot for me to get mad. Like say like if I'm out in public, if someone does something wrong, like and doesn't affect me, like I don't get angry, but I would like step in if it's like about me or something like someone says something about me, then I tend to like get really upset and like really explosive.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see like a whole bad side of me. Okay.
Sorry. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Good.
It's not
Good.
funny.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
jeez.
Okay.
No,
Are you getting angry?
no.
Okay.
Okay, that was part of the joke. Yeah, I feel like for me it depends on like what I'm doing, because I feel like usually with most things I'm pretty nonchalant. But like when I play basketball, I get pretty allegedly I get pretty upset. Like my twin always tells me like, dude, like what, like I get really upset at him, not at him, but it's like more of a competitive thing. He's my brother. I don't like losing to him, so like and that apparently I can be really mad. Like sometimes I'll like throw the ball or something really far, or I'll just like be like really upset. Or like after the game, he's like, "Good game." I'm like, "No, no, it wasn't." So I get pretty upset. But I feel like with most things that isn't that, I don't get that upset. It's funny, like I feel like I'm not trying to disagree with you on a lot of things, but the thing that you said earlier about like you get angry with things being out of your control, and I do too. But like in terms like I feel like I'd be more upset at something I could control. Like for example, I'm playing someone really good in basketball, like on the other team, and they absolutely obliterate me. I'm like, okay, I couldn't really control that. They were just way better than me. I know it's a bad mindset to have, but like it's not like I'm still gonna try. But it's after the fact, like in retrospect, I'm like, okay, that's okay. But if I lose to a person I know I could beat, I'd be more upset. So I guess that kind of contradicts what you were saying a little bit, but that's just me personally.
Well, like I said, there's like a lot of people different use their anger differently or handle their anger differently, and that is a good contrast.
I get
Yeah.
I get so angry when people misunderstand me, and like
Yes, same.
if like my words are like twisted, or the person doesn't understand it, and like they're interpreting what I'm saying in a very like negative way, and now I'm just like having to explain to them like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean it that way. Like, why are you like? And I just get like so angry at that because I want to be heard by the other person, and I see that person's not like hearing me, so I just like get so like angry about it. And I think like anger like reveals like where are like our biggest um sense of. I think anger sometimes can tell us about our character sometimes, about like what we think is important, what we value, because like if someone values like being like understood and that's not happening, then they're obviously gonna get angry, or they value justice and they feel like being treated unfairly, that then they're gonna get angry. And I think like anger, if we like, I think instead of just like pushing it down, we can like see like, okay, what is like this anger saying about like my character. Now I'm not saying that's always the case, but I'm thinking like that's like a helpful mindset instead of just like you're like really locked in.
Yeah.
You're locked in.
I'm focusing on what you're saying.
I think that can be like a helpful mindset instead of just um like trying to like pretend like, oh no, I'm fine, I'm so fine. Like we do that, like I do that. I was like, oh no, I'm fine, everything's fine, because like we can be uncomfortable with the anger, like telling someone else that, because that like takes a lot of like vulnerability. We don't want people to like think, we don't want people to judge our anger, um or like think that we're crazy, or think that we're like, why are you getting angry over, we don't want someone to like not validate us in our anger. And I think we first had to validate our anger. um there's like a healthy way of like doing that instead of like taking your anger out on someone else. I think there's a healthy way to do that, because we always think like, at least like growing up, it was always like, anger is like always like can always be like just this a negative thing, it's a bad thing. But I'm trying to like accept anger. That anger is just normal, and there's gonna be like minor frustrations, and there's gonna be like some anger that like you've been hurt, and you don't, that anger is just like normal. But yeah,
Hulk out.
okay. I went on a I went on a tangent, but like yeah.
I mean, I feel like you were right, but like I mentioned before, anger can be good
Yeah.
because it could, okay, very small context, it can show that you like care about something. Like
Yeah, it's just like where you like care at, where you like what's a sensitive like subject for you.
Or it lets you not be more like, what's the word?
Vulnerable, I think.
Well, not, yeah, but also not being, I mean, I don't want to say pushover, because that's a bit harsh.
It
No,
allows you,
that's a good word.
anger
Is
is
that a
a
good word for it?
anger
Yeah.
is a drive to stand for your values.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
not make yourself a pushover.
Yeah,
Like,
it allows you to like
stand
stand
your
up.
ground.
Yeah, stand your ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be.
Yeah,
a good
I
thing,
think yeah, that's when it is a good thing. I think like it is like that natural like warning sign that something's like off, like because that like this person like is crossing like a value of mine,
Mhm.
and then I'm getting angry. That means like, oh my gosh, like I it's okay to feel that way. And I think we need to like give ourselves permission to feel the anger in a healthy way, instead of like just trying to like force it away, because that like it eventually builds up.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Very true.
but I'm always saying, my saying is, your anger isn't always about the present situation.
Mhm.
Like the problem isn't the problem. Like say like if um Dimitri, this is like an example of it, but Dimitri like takes what I said and takes it the wrong way. Like it wasn't like about the situation specifically, but it's about like the fact that there's like miscommunication and like misunderstanding. So I think that's more where anger comes from.
Should we talk about how we deal with anger, or we not? Have we not talked about that yet?
We can talk about that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
I touched on
Good
it,
idea.
but I didn't want to.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
I didn't want to. All right, someone else go first, so I gotta think more.
Me. All right. So, Essentially, when I get mad, I kind of like isolate myself. Um, I know why Michael's giving me that look. But essentially, if I am mad or something like that, I like go in the like to my basement in my house, play on my drum set, play video games, or just do something, I guess, productive. Like for me, like personally, like I would edit my videos because I'm a filmmaker,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So that definitely helps me. Like, and when I'm like, it usually doesn't take me too long to like calm down. I mean, of course, depending on the situation, but like, as long as I'm like just by myself when I'm angry, like go away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what gets me so angry is when people invalidate my feelings. I don't like that.
Yes.
When people are just like, "Oh, honey, you just need to like just get over it," or whatever. That angers me so much because it's saying that my experience isn't real enough for you to care.
Yeah.
But anyway, good. I don't know
Same
why
here, Micah.
that just
like,
came up. That just came up
I
out of nowhere.
I
But
hate to
good.
interrupt too, but
Yeah.
the thing that makes me the most angriest is lying. Like, I
Or that
hate
too.
being straight up lied in my face.
Mhm.
Like, when someone like tells me something that's not true and I like find out like if
Mhm.
they're lying to me, like that makes me so mad.
Um, I don't know if we're going in order, but I just want to say something really quick. I feel like I said this before about people invalidating feelings, but I feel like our parents do that because, like, at least my stepdad, that's like how he was raised. I feel like so. I guess it not directly his fault.
Does
but
that make you angry?
I mean, no. I mean, well, there was something like something like that happened before. Like when I mentioned it before, I mentioned something like that before, and he was like, "Oh, you just have to move on." And I'm like, it annoys me, but then I think to myself like, "Oh, I mean, that's how he was raised. I can't really, I can't like I can't really change. You can't really change like a 6-year-old person's mind because like
But you still feel angry that he's not like understanding your experience.
yeah, but
You said it
it
annoys
makes me
you.
less angry because like I realize that like that's how he was. It's hard to like he doesn't really understand. So
Oh, I would.
Yeah.
Hey, I would.
Uh-huh.
If someone does that to me, I would be so angry because it's like saying that they cannot listen to my experience or they can't care. But anyway, we're not,
wait, is it my turn to talk? Oh,
I'd
sorry.
be
I didn't-
infuriated.
Okay, so how I deal with anger usually, I feel like I said this already. I'm not really that. I don't get angry that often. Like it's very hard to get me angry. Usually, I don't know. Someone would have to do a lot to me to get me angry. Typically, it's like video games, but the thing that gets me the most angry is like actually like myself. Usually, not even other people. Like I just get angry
oh
at
my
myself
gosh.
because
Your poor self.
well, no, it doesn't happen all the time. It's just like
Your poor self.
it doesn't happen all the time. It's just like when I'm if I like I mentioned earlier, like if I feel unproductive, usually and you said it too. Um, I usually I'll do something productive. Like I will usually I'll just go to the gym or like play basketball. Going to the gym helps. You're just like pushing heavy weight.
Relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of like relieves stress pretty good. Also like you get like it's like literally scientifically proven to give you like a dopamine feeling afterwards. So yeah, that's the main thing I do. Yeah, that's basically it.
So basically, what I do like to calm myself down when I'm angry is technically I'll go up to my room, like alert myself from the situation, and basically like doing stuff like meditation, or that can be like a little nap or something, or it can be anything like to like release my anxiety. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm like going through some stuff, basically just keeps my mind off of whatever I'm doing, pretty much.
Yeah. Wait, did you go yet, Micah?
No. So how I deal with anger, how like I would say like how past Micah would deal with anger is like it's like so explosive and like like just be like very argumentative with like to try to prove my point. Cause I feel like in like if you're getting angry, then that means like you feel like you need to prove your point, and it comes from like a need to be validated. You want other people to validate you, so you try to like argue with them to make them see your point. But that was like past me. I would like try to engage in arguments that it was just like it was a waste of time. But um and also just yeah, I did not. My anger was not productive. I'm talking about like just screaming and like yeah, I was not.
Whoa.
Like sort of like like like
Mike
the
is screaming.
stereotypical like emo
Mike was a screamer.
person that's like uh which
Oh,
is
wait,
why
okay.
I'm so attracted to the emo genre is because like it's like that inner rage that like expresses like all of what you feel like you're not safe to express. And I think that's like a healthy way to deal with anger. But before I just after like I would just like explode. I would like go in on myself in like a self-critical way. I would just be like so critical of myself after like being like explosive in anger, and I would basically go into like an anger spiral where I would just just be like, oh, why did I do that? Or just like I'm just so angry with myself, and it wasn't productive. But now I'm getting like so much better with dealing with that. Even though some stuff can I have my like triggers, and I think I talked to Dimitri about some of them, about like how things like um I think just like how I can how sometimes like I say like I have the saying of like how like the ghetto will come out of me.
Oh, yeah, that was
It's a
funny. That was
saying.
funny.
It was from my family, but I like it's mostly like how like you just want to like your impulse is to just like get so angry and like want to talk back at the person, but or like try to defend yourself. But I think um dealing with anger means trying to deal with your first instinct to want that you feel you need to do, whether it is like arguing or like getting back at that person or just texting them back or whatever, or just like whatever the impulse is. Um, I think like over time I've like learned to deal with like some of my toxic traits. Um,
But you know that you're toxic.
some of my toxic traits. And I think it's okay to admit that. It doesn't mean I'm a toxic person. I just have like
No.
traits that like I need to deal with. Where was I going with this? But yeah, I think anger. But now I'm like looking at anger like more in like a compassionate way, where I'm just like compassionate towards myself, and I'm just like I'm angry. I'm allowed to be angry in this. Everyone else doesn't have to validate it, but I can just be okay. I can accept that I'm angry right now, and I don't have to necessarily do something about it. I can accept the anger. Cause I feel like we always need to feel like we need to do something, but maybe I don't need to do something. And sometimes the anger is pushing me to do something and make a decision. So
I feel,
that's how, huh?
So like this reminds me of I feel like there's like also like wrong ways to get rid of anger.
Like cussing somebody out.
That too. But it reminds me of that thing in men's group yesterday when we were talking about like that guy getting angry with God, saying like and that reminded me like, oh, when people are angry at me, or like when people have been angry at me in the past, getting yelled at kind of sucks. And that's made me think about that. Like
Right.
yeah. So that made me think like I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be that person. Like I have before. Sometimes it's like you said it yourself. I think yesterday. It's like in the moment kind of thing.
No, don't talk. Hey, I just done stuff in the moment.
What? That's what you said
That's it.
yesterday.
No, yeah, that's what I say. Hey, I've done some things in the moment that. Hey, it wasn't pretty. I got, I called out some demons and everything that came out that I didn't know I had. But why are you looking
Everyone
at me like
has. Wait, what happened?
that? Why are you looking at me like
What?
that?
I don't. What happened?
No, I'm saying like it's an expression. Like I called out some demons in me.
No,
that I didn't
everyone
know
has.
Oh, I thought you
had.
said something.
I had an incident like that.
I thought
No.
I thought Micah ripped into somebody. I was
No,
like,
I'm saying like
No.
I'm saying I've like done things that I just like whoa, what was I doing? But I think like that. I think I need to have right now I'm having like so much compassion for past Micah because he didn't know how to deal with his anger because it was always just like it was always overlooked because it was like shamed and like the family just was just like we just which I think a lot of people can relate with like the family's like I'm so into family systems but the family's like your anger it's like messing with the family image. We can't have your anger, so you need to go on a timeout or whatever. You're like the they try to like not like sit with you in the anger, and I think that's where like that like self hatred like comes from. It's like you feel ashamed for being angry, but what were we talking about again?
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about how like there's like bad ways of dealing with anger, but I don't know. Also, well, I want to say something else, but I don't know if like we were done talking about that. So like before, when people were talking about like I guess pet peeves or like what gets them angry, I just wanted to like say a quick annoyance I have since everyone else was saying one that they had, and I'm culpable of doing this in the past. I try not to do this, but I hate when people say, and this could be true, but I hate when people say that they don't have time to do certain things. Like I feel like maybe you don't, depending on when they come. Like it's like because I'll ask someone to go to the gym with me. They're like, oh, I don't have time. I feel like you like I don't know. Like I feel like you definitely have time. I feel like one thing I've learned at college is like you have a lot of time to do things. That annoys me.
That is actually a really good point.
That is 100%
so
valid.
like when I'm filming something or I need other people to act in my films, they're like, "Oh, I don't have time today."
Yeah, like just say you don't want to. Like I don't know.
Exactly. Like,
For real, yeah.
So not being like honest about like
It's not that you're not being honest. It's like that's just like that's a nice way of saying it. I feel like
or at least
like just being like honest, like hey, just be truthful with me that you can't.
it's more of just like no, I feel like for me at least when my past people would go to the gym, they just don't want to go, which is like fine. But I'm like okay, Marm's like prime example. I'm name dropping Marm. If he ever comes on this podcast, I always ask you to go to the gym with me. You're always doing stuff, man. Come on.
Or I always feel like I'm asking like someone to go to Walmart with me, and they say like, no, I don't have time to do so.
well, there's
I think people say that they don't have time because they don't want to make it seem like they're like rejecting you. They don't want to make you feel bad.
It's
well also
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good thing.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's like that's a good point, and that has definitely happened. But there are points where they legit can't. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
you gotta, like,
Yeah.
But there's also
the fine line.
But to be true though, that is a solid point, and it does annoy me too. But
No, because sometimes like they genuinely are busy. Like
yeah,
with like sometimes like they're like, oh, I'm actually doing stuff. But sometimes I just like it's more of a hunch and an assumption. I'm like, are you really doing something right now? Because I'd be asking like sometimes late night. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
but it's whatever.
yeah.
Don't
Everyone knows my bedtime's early.
you,
So.
you can't hold grudges.
7 or 8 o'clock.
Another aspect, and I'm glad as you mentioned that, another aspect of anger is holding grudges and
Yes.
dealing with bitterness.
You can't hold grudges.
I did.
For sure.
I did. For middle school, me was a menace. Let's just say that. Michael, give me a
It's
weird
like
look.
hard to imagine that.
Well,
this-
I was kind of a douche a little bit.
douche.
Just repeat it.
Yeah. For anyone who didn't hear in the back, a douche. D-O.
UCH.
I don't know how to spell that.
Oh.
I don't know how to spell that.
Yes, you do.
You were a little rude in middle
I'm
school,
gonna
you
get
said?
you.
Elmo-U-S-C. So, yeah, like, I definitely held grudges over very petty things.
Mhm.
But I definitely learned that is dumb. And so, you gotta know.
Oh
when
my
to let
gosh.
things go.
I'm so glad that you said
Why are you
grudge
gasping?
because I think a music album that's helping me deal with anger is Olivia Rodrigo's
Oh.
Guts album.
Music's a good. Yeah, that's a good.
She's
That's a good.
such like her Guts album is helping me deal with the anger about things in my life because about how to actually deal with like the grief behind the anger because I think there's grief underneath your anger and frustration and bitterness.
Yes.
There's sadness and grief because things like happen or like a past friend hurts you or whatever and they never like apologize or anything and you're just like left with like this bitterness and I think it's okay to admit that but so you're left with like this grudge, and how you can like, at least for me, is if you like see them like out, like if you run into them, then that anger comes up. It just that means you. I feel like you haven't necessarily like, dealt with it, and like I think underneath the anger is grief, and like just feeling like you couldn't control the situation. So you're sad. You're sad that it happened, and you're just grieving, and you're in pain basically, because really anger is just underneath that is just pain of like values being broken or not you not being listened to. I think
Yeah.
the pain of like
Mhm.
feeling disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
No, no, I was just saying. I'm sorry. I just like I didn't know if you were expecting me to say something. That's why.
I thought you
Yeah.
were.
I thought you were
Oh,
gonna say
yeah, no,
something.
sorry.
I
I
was
mean-
But
like,
like, moral of the story though, is there are ways to control your anger and compress your anger to where you don't feel angry anymore.
Yeah, I think there's ways like to deal with like over time for me, like when in certain like things in my there's ways to um not, I wouldn't say just like solve necessarily like completely solve the anger, but not have it like take control over of your mindset of life, so you get bitter
Yeah.
of life, and then you get so like discouraged. 'Cause I think that it follows like a little pattern. It's like you get hurt, and then you get angry. Then you think you turn that anger into like a mindset like, oh, people can't be trusted, or you take those like angry feelings and just either like externalize it towards other people, or you internalize it and blame yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think I do both, but I'm mostly like of an internalizer because I always blame myself for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that too.
for sure.
Yeah.
Blaming
So,
yourself on things for things.
But I think also I just think it's just like okay. It's just okay to just feel angry at even like anger at yourself sometimes, but we don't want to stay in that place.
Yeah.
Kind of want to like move through that. And it's gonna look different for everybody. I feel
'Cause
like you
I'm
have something
saying,
to
like,
say.
I'm just saying, like, don't you get tired of like being angry all the time?
Yeah, like
whenever-
eventually, like it has to be like this can't be all the time.
Yeah, because there's other things like to explore in life that could make you happy,
Yeah,
but people are not choosing to do them.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know how much longer we're going. I'll add something. I feel like for me, working in customer service, aka fast food, I learned to, I guess, I haven't really gotten good at it yet, but like just controlling my anger more, because I guess annoyance instead of anger, but it's like dealing with bitter customers. When I first started working there, I would honestly get like angry if someone didn't say thank you after I like served them, because that was just like a pet peeve of mine. I was like, or like when like they pull up
Well,
to
it's
this,
a value, right?
yeah,
It's a value for us that people like acknowledge what you did or appreciate what you did.
yeah, you want, yeah, that's, yeah, that. Also, when people like pull up to the freaking drive-through speaker and like they say hello before you greet them, it's like, wait a second, that is so annoying. That would never not be annoying to me. I don't care, like, or get me like not angry, but it's just like, everyone has pet peeves,
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Ooh, anger and like job stuff. Yeah. Like when I was a lifeguard, I had to deal with so many people basically being irresponsible for their own stuff, aka their children.
Oh, jeez.
Like this one time, I had to save a kid
Oh crap.
in the deep
Yeah.
end, and
The deep end.
I saved them, right? And their parent yelled at me for being too slow.
What was the parent doing?
Oh, you wanna know what the parent was doing? Nothing. That's
Absolutely just nothing.
They're looking around.
exactly.
Like, I know my experience, like, I work at Chick-fil-A, and there's, like, a lot of people who, like, go through the drive-thru, because it's, like, one of the most popular, places to, like, get food. and, like, there's so many people, like, during lunch hour and dinner rush, that it's, like, hard to be patient with other people,
Yeah.
because they're asking for like stuff, saying like, "Hey, I need this. Hey, can you change my order or add this to my order?" Like it gets really annoying because you have to like ask other people to like get other things for you.
I think anger also has to deal with like patience and like how you're not like patient with yourself or other people. And like if you're not patient with yourself, then you're going to be so angry with yourself that you're not that things aren't what you think they should be.
Yeah. I mean,
What?
especially when you're like waiting for something,
Yeah.
like your anger kind of like builds up and builds up, like as it gets busier. Like, say for example, like a fast food restaurant, if you work
Mhm.
at one,
Mhm.
yes.
And then you turn green, right? And then you turn 8 foot tall, and
So
then
I have
suddenly you run
so
for the
I
city.
have a cold, and
Oh, what the?
but I think like
Virus.
I think
Don't get me sick.
I think that like um for me it just always goes down to like I'm not able to control how my family views me. I'm not able to control like what goes on through the day. I can't control like whether if I'm late for an appointment or there's some things that I just like cannot control.
What?
And
Huh?
sometimes like that
Wait, that last part you can definitely control.
what
If you're late for an appointment, you can control that.
Well, traffic.
No. Yeah, you can't
Well,
control the
Just
traffic
leave
can ruin it.
earlier.
You can if there's still traffic,
Well,
you can't
well,
control that.
You can control it. Yes, like most of the time, but there's like still traffic and stuff.
Or like look it up on GPS to say
I
like
think
how
there's
long
so
it gets.
much, and we can control. Maybe that's a,
No,
maybe
that
that's a
was so
topic
funny.
that we can talk about. That there's so much we think that we have control at, or we try to have control at, but like some things, like it just like some things.
Okay, I see
like,
what you're saying. Never mind.
yeah, some
I see your point
situations
of
just
view.
happen,
I
and
see what you're saying, never
like
mind.
we get angry because we can't like see it for that the situation just happened. Like it's not your fault. It's just
You mean like
know, it just-
unforeseen circumstances.
yeah, it just things
see.
just happen. Like
Okay.
I like my cat my cat
Yes.
had like an issue and I couldn't make it to your dinner. It's not my fault that the cat had an issue. It's just it happened. I needed to care for my cat, and I can't get angry that the situation happened.
Cat.
I can't get angry. I mean, I can, but like I have to understand that the anger is coming from like an expectation of like control. So I'm learning to let go. Now that doesn't mean like you just like allow life to happen, but you like when things like do happen, are you gonna like listen to that angry critical voice?
Yeah.
Micah.
Your cat. We can talk about. I love cats.
My 25-pound cat.
I'm
Cat
a cat
topic.
lover.
I'm sorry, but team dog for me all the way.
That's
I'm
fair.
just saying all day.
Dogs protect.
Dogs are so pretty. Like I know my dad has like this one puppy, kind of like a tabby almost. Like it's has like orange skin. It's
But
like
how
the
do
littlest
you-
and cutest.
How do you want someone else to respond to your anger when you're angry?
Oh crap, that's a good question.
Hmm.
Oh crap. I guess understand. I mean,
Well, how would you? First of all, how would you like me like in a friendship to respond to your anger? First of all,
oh crap, pop quiz on the pop quiz hot shot. All right.
just like
All right. Well, I guess understand. Right.
like
even if-
listen intently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I'm not expecting you like to understand like everything.
Yeah.
Understand, maybe try to understand, like something like that. Crap, I really don't know. Like, wait, what do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think? Bring
What
it.
would you like me to do? If you were angry, what would you like me to do?
You can ask like, hey, can I do something better to like make you happy again, or can I do anything for you to like fix the situation?
Mm-hmm.
They most likely would say yes or no, but kind of like depends on how they're feeling.
Yeah, for me personally, listening would be good. Depending on what we are talking about, I think tough love can be good. Just saying like like what we said earlier. If I'm like being like a baby about something, I like honesty, where it's just like
Oh, honestly, is definitely a good one. Yeah.
where I'm like
Definitely.
where it's like where like I shouldn't be like upset about it. You're like, why are you upset about this? You shouldn't care. Like, cause like my brother does that to me sometimes, and that's what he usually does. And it, like for me that works. And, like my mom will obviously not do that, so like listen and stuff. So it just like depends. Like from other people, like from certain people, I expect what they're gonna do, and like it helps in their own ways. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just realized I cry when I'm angry. I cry when I'm angry.
That was
'cause
so random.
I don't know why it is, but I do cry when
That's just-
when I'm angry because it just.
How often do you cry? No, anyway, that's off topic.
But I do like start crying because I feel like when you're trying to like explain your anger and someone asks you, you start crying. That happens to me because I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very sensitive person. So like if someone like asks me like, oh my gosh, can I hug you? I'll just start crying. But
I'm very
How-
sensitive
Oh,
too.
sorry. It's not funny. It's not funny.
But like how I like people to respond, it just let me be angry. Like don't try to just be like, oh, but the situation's not that deep. Like I don't understand it right now. I'll probably understand that in the future. Just let me be angry in the moment.
Some
'cause-
situations that is true.
Yeah.
Like saying it's not that deep. It just like depends though.
Cause I feel like to the person you're not really actually like listening to their experience. Like to them, it's like very important, but to you saying like, oh, that's not that deep. It might not be that deep to you, but to the other person, it is very important. Obviously.
It's not that deep.
So
Overall, like yeah, anger is definitely is important.
yeah,
And people, whether you are the anger or
the,
the seeing the angie,
Thank you.
the angie, I don't know what other word angie, but
I know what you mean, but like,
but like either way, it's definitely important. It's definitely good to see that and to see what to do.
mhm.
And if you are angry, it's okay. Also, I think overall, it's okay to be angry.
Yeah.
It's justified. Like your feelings matter,
Mhm.
and people have limitations. People have boundaries.
Mhm.
You know, and people deal anger in different ways. And it's really all
'Cause
about
humans are complex.
yeah. Oh, we are definitely complex. We're definitely humans are definitely something. But overall, yeah, it's just about like what you do with it, and if you do see someone angry, take the proper precautions, and like depending on the amount of anger. But if it's your friend or something, see if you can help. But if they
Mhm.
need space, give them space. If
Oh,
it-
so now I know what to do.
yeah, if
Okay.
this has
That
been
look.
the whole test.
That look.
That look on your face,
But
Micah.
if they need help, need someone to talk to, that you can be there for them. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I just like I just have a history of people just like being like, oh, you just
History.
need to like just whatever, you need to grow up or whatever, and that just basically to me that's communicating that you're not like emotionally aware enough to help me with my anger because you don't know how to deal with your own anger. But anyway,
It depends.
it does depend, but
A lot of
I feel
times it really depends.
yeah, but still, I just feel like some people are not safe people to like help process anger, and I'm trying to be that person to other people to be like very listening because it's very important to like really listen to what someone's saying.
Definitely.
For sure.
Like I want to be that person too.
Yeah,
It depends on like what your mood is or
yeah, that too.
how others are like feeling. They can tend to be like angry or instead like really happy. Like
When you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
welcome to my childhood.
So I now that if you want to wrap the episode up, I was gonna like I had an idea of like sort of like having like a little mini health segment about like different stuff that we're all like overcoming like health wise. If you want to kind of like the check-ins that we do at men's group, but like we can just do like a mini segment if you're comfortable
You
sharing.
mean like physically and emotionally, or like what?
we can do
Any-
that,
either way.
but I
Anyway,
because like you guys mentioned like different stuff like this past week about different like health things, and I figure like we can just like acknowledge that like now if you want to. If not, we can end the podcast.
Oh, are we? Wait, like, am I going, or are we going around like a circle?
Well, do you want to start?
You can start.
We can
I-
go
I
around
can
a
start.
circle.
Oh, you
You
can
want me to
start.
start?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. This is my TED talk. Basically, what I'm trying to work on is definitely my personal time management. Like, most of my free time, especially in college, has been just doing homework, going to the gym, hanging out with friends. But I don't really have a lot of personal me time to do what I really want to do, like make movies, make movies, and I don't really have that time recently. So I've been trying to see whether like what time I can do that stuff, for stuff for me. What about you guys?
The thing I need to work on the most is definitely like what Alex said, managing my time on homework, because as of right now I'm falling behind. And if I did like catch up on all my work, like I could be doing like other stuff such as like like going out with friends to places or going to the gym or maybe walking around campus with friends. So that's pretty much what I need to work on to like get everything done situated.
Demetri just had the biggest yawn of all time.
I just stretched my back. I had bad like 2 days ago. I feel like for me, my time management actually so far, knock on wood, has been pretty good. Like I feel like compared to high school is really good. Like I feel like I've been pretty good at balancing everything, like gym, fraternity things, social, like being social, and like my work. Past 2 days I haven't, because I've just been. It's not even the fact that I haven't. It's like I've had bad time management. I just, I guess it is. I've just been like freaking lazy, because I'm like kind of burned out recently. But it's okay. I don't know if I should talk physically or like. Are you gonna mention anything
So
physically?
what I meant like by the health thing is like what we all like health wise, like what is it like that we're like just struggling with, because like what if you're like what. So for me, like what I was gonna say is like it's been in like 2 years of over 2 years of like therapy of like for my anxiety. So that was basically what I was gonna say, like what's like a health thing like in your life that that you've been dealing with like over like this course of your life that it doesn't have to be like can be like physical, but for me it's like it's largely mental health and just getting better, like anxiety, which has gotten better, and I'm so happy. I'm a much happier person than I was.
W.
All right.
Oh, so
Is that like you
um,
wanna like end on that or just
yeah, we can end on that. Am I wrapping it up or is someone else wrapping? I mean, I could just say like thanks for listening. I know I'm pretty sure it's like a longer one, so
Yeah,
anyone,
it's like, 53 minutes.
yeah,
53 minutes.
longer one. So anyone listen, thank
I
you.
might have a cold.
Thank you for listening.
Yep.
I know you guys can't see, but I'm moving away from Micah because I don't want to get sick before the break. So
For the outbreak at
Yes.
RMU.
But yeah. See you guys next time. Also, follow us on Instagram. The first post will be coming up after this episode. So
let's
yeah,
go.
get excited
All
for that.
right.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Hope you watch next
Actually,
time.
wait, no,
weeks.
2 weeks because of break. We'll be having next Tuesday off. But after that,
So we won't be here next week for you to listen to the podcast. So we'll be back the week after.
maybe just listen to reruns. I don't know. Listen to reruns. Before we do go, I've been wanting to make a Snickers joke this entire thing, because in the Snickers campaign, it's like if you're mad, have a
Milky Ways. But anyway,
well, just like the whole Snickers thing is like if you're angry, have a Snickers. But I didn't see the opportunity, so
Just do it now.
insert joke of Snickers here. If you're angry, fellas, just have a Snickers.
It works.
Snickers are disgusting.
Unless you
For sure.
unless
That's-
you're allergic.
What are you
Okay.
talking about?
Unless you're allergic to peanut butter, cough, cough, blink, wink, wink to me. You have a Milky Way, because Milky Ways are
Snickers
better.
are disgusting. Milky Ways are so much better.
It's like the same, but
For
okay.
sure.
They're basically the same. One has nuts, one don't.
It's
Anyway.
literally the same, but okay.
Do you guys like Kit Kats? I heard they're delicious.
The Kit Kats are
Break
disgusting.
All right, guys. See ya.
They're like
Okay.
the chocolate wafers.
We'll see you
Bye,
tomorrow.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye bye.
I don't wanna
Bye.